Sports fighting, though it's based upon fighting in general, is actually what's layered over the top of this is quite a lot of skill, quite a lot of fine motor activity. If I want to hit someone in a sport fighting context, I use a lot of technicality, a lot of tricks. I use timing, I use distance. If I can't get a target I want, I wait for it, or I set traps to open it up. And I've got time and space to do that. It's a completely different thing to being in a self-defense situation where probably my objective is to escape from a threatening situation. I don't have time, I don't probably have distance. The person in front of me is a threat, probably bigger, stronger, maybe more numerous. So much is different about this. I don't have any time to make those targets available that I might have had in a sport fighting context, which means that a lot of what I would have done in a sport fighting context, given that tiny time frame, that lack of distance, that imminent threat, becomes quite redundant. It's actually quite difficult to hit someone who's threatening, who's moving around aggressively. It's quite difficult to hit them with anything at all from, say, the typical range of boxing tools, power punches, the right cross, the left hook. I need particular ways of landing those on particular parts of the body. I'm looking for areas around the jaw. It's a really small area of the body to focus on, particularly when time is so short and distance is very small. So what I need are things which are kind of more accessible, more versatile. I mean, I can improve the way I can hit people, things like haymakers, open-handed haymakers. I can hit someone with an open-handed haymaker, and that can land pretty much anywhere on the body, the neck. It's not going to do any damage around the arms, the body particularly, but I'm not going to hurt myself doing it, which is an advantage because it stops that inhibition. I don't have any inhibition about throwing a haymaker open-handed shot at someone, thinking what happens if I punch that elbow, because that's not going to happen. But at the same time, it's not necessarily very effective because I've still got quite a small target that I can actually do any damage to him with. Plus, if distance is quite tight, it's difficult to get any power off that haymaker. This is where things like slamming come into their own. I've got something really, really versatile and accessible in slamming, which is essentially it's the pushing action, but I can do that at quite a ballistic and quite a powerful way. And what I've got with pushing and slamming is, I've got the target I want, the head, but if I don't get that head, I've got the chest, I've got the body, and whatever I'm hitting there, I'm moving away from me. I might not necessarily damage somebody, but I can move them away from me, and that gives me one of the things I want, which is distance and the opportunity to escape. Whereas here with the haymaker, as I said, I might not hurt myself, but I'm not particularly going to move him with that. I'm not going to create that distance. Another thing I get from slamming is, I'm at this kind of distance, I can slam him in the head. I'm at this distance, I can slam him and slam in the head. I can slam from pretty much anywhere, so I can hit him pretty much anywhere. I can slam him from pretty much any distance. Though I might not hurt him in every way, I can move him in ways which create distance for me. I don't have to think about any of this, I don't have to target any of this. If this person is moving around quite dramatically, dynamically, and I can't really target anything, I just aim for the biggest area of the body and I slam it. And that's taking away all of that pressure of targeting and all of the particular fine motor aspects of fight sport techniques. It's giving me something that I can use in a split second, pretty much any time, and that's going to at the very least, hopefully buy me a bit of space. And optimistically, if I get the right targets I need, it's going to give me some damage to the face. If I get a good shot on the head, the neck, the chest area, I might do some damage. I also might get some attachment out of that, so then I can go and do some shredding or something into his face. So slamming is very basic, very rudimentary, but in a self-defense situation, it's often that you really need.